Daylight savings time is coming to an end, and we all know what that means. It's the one night a year that we get one less hour of sleep. But surprisingly enough, this idea was not meant solely to make everyone's lives miserable for just one day out of the year. It actually has a rich and pretty extensive backstory as to how it came to be a phenomenon practiced nearly worldwide. Daylight savings time was originally practiced with the purpose of making better use of daylight and conserving energy, which is why we fall back in the winter to accommodate for the shorter day cycles. The first known use of it in the Common Age was in July of 1908 in Thunder Bay, Ontario, and became the first location to use daylight savings time. But the widespread use of daylight savings time didn't come until World War I. This is because the changing of time to cut back on energy costs was massively popularized in European countries during the First World War, as most of their money at the time was going towards the war effort. Germany was the first of these European countries to adopt this trend, but was shortly followed by the UK and France, along with several other countries. The US also adopted this plan during World War I because an American by the name of Robert Garland, who is today referred to as the father of daylight savings. He encountered this idea when he visited the UK during the war and proposed that the same go for the US. This was subsequently signed in by President Woodrow Wilson. Even though President Wilson passed the law to make daylight savings time legal in the US, it only took 7 months for the seasonal time change to be repealed. However, some cities, including Pittsburgh, Boston, and New York, continued to use it until Franklin D. Roosevelt instituted year-round daylight savings time in the U.S. in 1942. And thanks to the 2 bills passed since then to alter the time schedule, the Uniform Time Act and the Energy Policy Act of 2005. The Uniform Time Act made DST universal in the U.S., and the Energy Act of 2005 increased its duration by about a month to cut back on costs due to the energy crisis of the early 2000s. It is due to these 2 bills that we have the daylight savings time that we have today. So as you can see, daylight savings time has a rich and storied history, and it is unlikely it will go away anytime soon.